Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. As you can see today, I have some empty milk gallon and water containers sitting next to me. I'm filming this on a Tuesday and Sunday, so 2 days ago, I had a electrical issue with my well pump. I'm on a well here on my ranch, so if something goes wrong with the power to it, I lose access to water. Unfortunately, as prepared as I like to be with the majority of things around here, as of right now, that's currently not something I have backup for, which is really unfortunate because, again, if there's any prolonged power outage or anything like that, I do not have access to water. Despite being made fun of by a lot of family members for saving water containers, if I empty a water container, I don't usually consume this on a regular basis. The water that I have coming into my well comes straight off the mountain here, so in my opinion, it doesn't get any more fresh than that. However, I do buy water for emergencies if something like this was to happen. So over time, I have collected some waters, and like I said, any empty milk cartons I rinse out really well, and I fill up with tap water. And what I will do is just date it and put tap water on there. That way I know it's not something I would probably want to drink in an emergency, but it's something to have for other things. So I thought today I would just share with you guys that a nice visual of what 2 days of being out of water looks like. And this was very minimal demands. I do have livestock and pets. It was a little tricky, and to be honest with you, that is where the majority of probably the water was used. Luckily, I have a 50-gallon trough out for the goats, the sheep, and my livestock guardian dogs. And my chickens just use just a bucket that I kind of wipe out and keep clean and keep it underneath the hydrant and just turn water on as needed. But you'd be surprised how much water you go through and how much you use it, and running water. Over a span of about 2.5 days, this here is about 16 gallons of water. So I know that our national preparedness tells us to have 3 gallons of water per person per day. And I'm sure many of you have seen that and heard it. And I will say that that is at a minimum, especially if you have pets or, you know, a garden or anything like that. I also thought I would go over, just some ideas of things that you can do to have water stored. Now, I know some of you, like on city water, you may not ever think you'd run out of water or it would stop, but it can happen. And I would just highly encourage all of you to keep that in mind, because if there is some sort of power outage and people can't access water, you are not going to go to the store and just pick this up off the shelf. It is going to be wiped clean. It's always the first thing that goes. So again, I will save water in containers that I may not necessarily need for drinking, but for other things such as doing dishes. Some ideas that I've used: this is a cat litter container. It's a good it is plastic, but it has a lid, and if you're just using it for dishes or watering plants or anything that you're not consuming. The other thing you can do is, if you have mason jars, this is even better because it's glass. You can fill these up if you have an area where you can keep them temperate. These are actually from my Amish store down the road. They sell all of their used jars from their pickled items and jams and stuff like that. And I actually get a pretty good deal. I think 12 of these in a box is like $4.99. And comes with the lid. So I have bought a few boxes of that just for storage. And this is another, I haven't rinsed it out yet. I go through a lot of coconut oil. I use it in the dog's food. I make sure to get it myself because it's really good for you. But, again, another container that is plastic, but it has a lid, and it's a fairly large container. No, no. One other item that I do want to mention is something called a water bob. I personally do not have one, but it is something I believe you can get off of Amazon. And if something was to happen, probably more specifically if you did live in the city and there's a chance that, you know, the water that's left is going to be gone, it is a huge plastic, like a blob that you can put in your tub and hook up to your faucet in there, and it will fill up with water to the size of your tub. It's just a big, huge bladder, basically. So that would be something that would be really good to have if you were in a position where you knew you were going to be short on water for some time and you needed to access as much as you could get. And this isn't water storage, but this is something that became very handy, not only for personal needs, but, you know, wiping the counters down so I didn't have to use water, or if I did cook something in the mornings, I put oatmeal on the dogs, oatmeal and eggs on the dog's food. So rather than having dishes that I knew were going to have to sit with food in it, I just took one of these wet wipes and just sort of wiped out all the food into the garbage, so that way when I did get to doing the dishes, there wasn't food stuck on it. And speaking of dishes, I had actually bought this a while ago too. It's one of those restaurant style, you know, that you if you were a young kid doing dishes in the back, just one of those restaurant style dish containers. This came in real handy because, again, I had to heat water up with my water kettle and fill it up a little bit and then use cold water to kind of, you know, have enough volume and do the dishes manually. I don't have a dishwasher, so I always do my dishes manually anyway, but not having running water is quite a challenge when you're trying to not only wash the dishes, but making sure that you rinse them well enough to get all the soap off. So this really came in handy. So I thought I would just do a short little video to show you guys a visual of, you know, what 2 days without water looks like. And that was at a very minimum. And, you know, I would encourage all of you to just not take something like that for granted. There's 800 people in my town, so I don't have a lot of access to contractors. So I was very, very fortunate to find someone to come out and fix it, which was great. I have running water again, shower, flush the toilets, all of that. I've washed the dishes, changed the animals' water out, and all of that. So again, I just encourage you guys to think about things that you take for granted, like running water and having access to that. I hope everybody's doing well. Take care.